Hey comrades, this is Ray over at Magfed Maker. This video is going to go over two new products that are now available at magfedmaker.com. That is one of the newer Milsig/Grizen handguards. It's actually produced by Grizen under the Grizen brand, but it's for Milsig markers. And then the other thing is going to be the Magfed Maker's Edition M17 that will be available per service and also as a marker that will be ready to ship out. Alright, so for the first part of the video we'll go ahead and go over the Grizen Modular Shroud System, or MSS for short. This is a new handguard that is developed specifically for the Milsig M17 series. That's to include the A2, the CQC, and the PMC. And by developed specifically for, I mean that the mounting points are more for the factory brackets, and the top rail will match seamlessly, well, not quite seamlessly, but it matches the same height as the Milsig's body, or the M17's body, with the top rail of the handguard. This is the base handguard feature, which is required for any of the other extensions, and it is, like I said, profiled for the mounting, the stock mounting brackets, and for the top rail. And this piece right here is just over 5 inches long, or 130 millimeters. And the coolest part about this handguard is that you can have as many of these extensions as you want to put on for various lengths. This is the factory, the stock barrel that comes with the M17A2. The Marksman micro barrel would fit really nicely in here, and I think the Nemesis 6-inch would also fit. I don't have one to show. Let me switch to table view. So yes, right here. This is, you have two M-lock slots on the sides, the bottom, and the other side, obviously. These are actually just for show. They don't profile to any mounting system. This is CNC'd aluminum, and then I'm not sure if that's parkerized or anodized. And then this is the extension. The base kit for the Grizen Modular Shroud System comes with the base and one extension, and then you can buy as many of these as you want, and they all attach like so. And all you have to do is keep the little interlocking, I don't know, ring, if you will, connected to the rear of your extension, and then it's just 4 machine screws, metric, of course, that are going to attach to your handguard. And that's really it. It's lightweight. It will fit any barrel up to 1 inch diameter. So this is the factory barrel that is 1 inch in diameter, and this is the Nemesis. So as you can see, it'll fit there. Even the muzzle itself fits all the way in and through one of the extension rings. It is free float, so you can still access your barrel, and there are pictures now on the magfedmaker.com site showing what the various lengths look like with various barrels installed. For example, the stalker, it comes out to about, yes, this ring will not fit down this, and stops right about there. And then with all 3 sections installed, oh, and these extensions are an additional 110 millimeters, or just over 3 1/4 long. Actually, just under 3 1/3 long. But when you have all 3 installed on this is a Nemesis 1215. It comes out to about here, I believe. So really cool for those, what they call the LVOA profile. So yes, that is the Grizen MSS handguard. Now for the second part of the video, this is the Milsig M17A2 Maker Edition. This is a factory Milsig M17A2 that I've done a couple of maker style modifications to. That is to include the CNC'd body cavity to allow for M5 square head or M5 hybrid head magazines. A CNC'd ramp mod on the bolt to assist in reducing problems with first strike feeding, as in no more clipping the next round in the stack. A clear viewing window that replaces the detent door or detent, I don't know, retaining tab, whatever you want to call it. And then the detent is relocated over the hopper port cover or the side port cover, and it is now an adjustable detent that I'm going to go over some of those features as well. Even though it does use M5 hybrid head mags now, it is still fully compatible with your square heads. Just wanted to clear that up if there were any questions. We're going to go ahead and switch to the other view. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side. So yeah, let's get a nice close-up on the viewing window. Now you can see while you're shooting your marker. You can just do a quick little check right here. Well, at least if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, yeah, you can still kind of see it pretty easily. Anyway, and this is laser cut acrylic, and it's also etched to show Maker Edition. If I do offer these clear viewing windows, I might offer just regular ones without the etching, if people so desire. So let's go ahead and load up so we can see. Alright, man, I really have to work on how to showcase this kind of stuff. Lighting. Anyway, so yes, but you can see fairly easily when a round is loaded. Some of the advantages to that would be if you are about to make a assault or a move and you want to be absolutely certain that the next round is chambered, you can see that it is. Or to see if you are going to be running on empty, or if you have a jam, you can kind of see in there. I think it's a nice little feature. Let's go ahead and show off the new detent system. So yeah, here it is. It's pretty simple. It's designed almost exactly like the standard Milsig port cover or the hopper port cover, and with I think this is a 1.75 or 2 millimeter Allen key. It lets you adjust the depth. Let's see if I can get a good angle on this to show, of the detent. It's all the way in right now, and as you can see, it's pushing that detent out. The advantages of this, or why would you want this? Some people have found experience with running first strikes, and as little detent as you can get in the way of the first strike as you can will help in feeding them and having them be properly rifled. I suppose if you're going to be one of those types that likes to weigh their first strikes and basically have match grade ammunition, well, there is still a slight amount of detent, but very little is getting in the way of the first strike traveling when it's all the way engaged. So then why would you want to push it all the way in, or at least further in? Well, what the ramp does, in the ramp mod does with the M17, is it reduces the clipping on the next stack. So you have two first strike rounds stacked up, and if you have a perfectly circular bolt, you have a chance of hitting the next round in the stack. That ramp mod misses that piece, pushes that first strike round down slightly, and then continues traveling with this first strike round. That's great, but if you have a dimpled ball or if you have smaller rounds, like let's see if I can dimple these. These are graffiti, so they're actually pretty good paintballs. I was looking for a dimple one, couldn't find it. But anyway, if you were to have dimpled balls or smaller than 0.68, like I know that there are some 6.75s even going out there, 6.78s, and really Magfed markers are designed for first strikes, which very rarely get below 6.83. So if you have smaller rounds, that bolt has a higher chance of clipping the next round in the stack. However, if you use a detent that pushes that stack down a little bit, as you can see, that ball is okay. Man, I really need to get better at this. It's actually not able to fully enter that breach, which might be a problem if it was a full-size paintball. But if it was a smaller paintball, that's actually ideal, that you don't have that paintball completely inserted so that the next ball in the stack isn't anywhere near that bolt when it travels forward. So if you are having problems with shit paint, this adjustable detent should cure you of said problems. It is a printed detent, which I've actually had quite a few people say how much they favor the printed detents over the factory ones, because these ones don't deteriorate with chemical exposure or paint exposure. The only thing I would say is if you do use them in sub-zero, they are going to get more brittle, so they're not quite as effective as the factory M17 is in some of the Canadian winter conditions. So yeah, if you are going to be shooting in the frigid winter, you probably will want to use your factory detent. But these mods are fully, they're not irreversible, as in it's just a new part. You can still pop in your regular detent, your regular, well, you can even use this door, it's just you won't be able to see anything. And then you can use your standard hopper port cover or side port cover. So let's see if we can take a look at some of the more extreme, irreversible mods to the Maker Edition M17. We'll pop out. Oh, this is kind of important. Whenever the mod is done, it takes out this material right here so that you can, well, if you're using square heads, you're still going to be able to put that crossbar in if you so desire. But when you use the M5 hybrid heads, you see you will no longer be able to use that crossbar. So you'll have to take that out. And a problem with that is the rear hole on the magwell is actually more of a slot or oval shape as opposed to just a circle. And if it, without these little inserts right here, the magwell itself will shift. But the Maker Edition will come with, and this would actually be beneficial to all M17s, so I'm probably going to have like a 10-pack available on the site very soon. This little insert right here prevents the magwell from shifting back and forth, and it will stay in place. Make a liar out of me. It should stay in place. You can glue them in place if you really want them to stay put. This one might have been printed a little bit small, so I will work on that. Missing this right here. Okay, so nothing is modded on the magwell. This is a factory M17A2 magwell. The difference between the M17 CQC and the A2 is that the added front bolt holes right here. See, nothing modded, just those little inserts were added in. Oh man, they really aren't staying in place. So yeah, you will want to glue those in place if you're going to be using them, because I don't want them to be too tight. Okay, so this is the CNC'd interior chamber. There we go. You can kind of see how it works. You can see that these parts right here are left over from the original M17 body, so there is nothing really added or printed inside here. This is all the molded material, which is a very good nylon polymer. I believe it's nylon. Um, and allows for the, right here are the activators for the M5 hybrid heads, and also allows Zeta mags to be fully inserted. But you can also see why a T15 magazine would not be would not work with this addition. These bars right here would have to be taken away. Another reason why the Zeta mag or the Vector magwell, because you can't have, turn that light off. You can't have that angle. The Zeta won't reach all the way in to the chamber with those bars in the way. So I may have a magwell down the road where if you really want to take a Dremel or even a pair of pliers and snap these little bars out, you actually could get the Zeta all the way up there and run a no ball on deck Vector magwell. But that's really something for the far into the future. I have a T15 mag. The reason why I cannot do a non-ball on deck T15 mag is because I would have to machine out this little screw hole right here, and that is going to reduce the integrity of the M17's body, or at least the connection of the body to two body halves, because that's really the only thing that's connecting these down here whenever your grip frame and your handguard are off. And then the T15 is just a little too wide at the top, so it would I would be forced to remove that screw, and you would have this little area right here would be open, and you would just have your walls really thin, not connected to the side. It just would not be good for the structural integrity of the marker. So unfortunately, T15 and Helix magwells are going to continue to use ball on deck until I can figure out an extended follower, which is something that I am working on actively. Okay, so yes, that's the CNC'd part of the body is all right here. That is irreversible, but your square heads still work as well. Sorry. They still work, have just about as much play as they did prior, as well as your M5 mags. And when using the APC, what am I doing? The APC 6.8 allows use for full insertion of the Zeta mag into the chamber. And that is why the APC 6.8 requires the Maker Edition M17. Okay, I had to cut some bloopers out, but this is the final addition to the Maker Edition M17. This is the ramp mod that will be CNC'd as opposed to done with a hand file. You absolutely can do this by hand with a file, but it can take a while. It might be a little bit messy, and you might not be sure of the exact angle that you need to do, which is one of the advantages of just having a machine do it. See if I can get the angle right on the camera. The concept behind this is that if you were to have a first strike round feeding just below the currently chambered first strike round, you have a chance of clipping that bottom first strike, which would be breaking the fin, or even worse, tilting your first strike inside your magazine or your chamber or your feed path, causing catastrophic failure next round. But with the ramp mod, you would have to have a very undersized first strike or broken first strike in order for it to feed far enough for this ramp to clip the next round in sequence. So yeah, it'll feed with missing that clip. Worst case, well, not really worst case, but I mean, what's going to happen is it's going to push that first strike round, and then when it comes up, it's not rubbing down, causing this to flip. It's actually going to come straight back and then feed that next round in a lot straighter than having that friction feed and then going up. So yeah, those are all the mods that come with the Maker Edition. Later this week, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting out a whole bunch of these and printing out a whole bunch of, where did it go? Printing out a whole bunch of these, so that it's not necessarily the Maker Edition, but some people may find that they would like to test out this new detent system without having to CNC their M17s. So yes, this detent window, or this clear viewing window, and the adjustable detent will be available by themselves, and those will also be in stock, as in not printed to order. We'll just, like I said, print a whole bunch of these at once, put them together. It's a little tricky, and I need to get some hardware. But yeah, those will be shipping along with Milsig parts with the 48 hours as opposed to the 10 business days with all my printed items. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Any questions, you can email me at magfedmaker@gmail.com. You can check out the website, magfedmaker.com, or hit me up on Facebook, either through the Magfed Maker Facebook page, or direct at Ray Laskowski is my profile that I really only joined Facebook in order to check out Magfed stuff. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching, and play on.